Hello and welcome to my retired life. As you could tell by the intro, this one's a little bit more serious than all the others, but it also has to do with retiring early and why I promote it. At the beginning of the video, you saw some obituaries. Now, all these obituaries that you saw there, and I'm going to show right now, they didn't have very much of a retirement. Tomorrow is never promised. Look at Steve Jobs, for example. 56-year-old, dies of pancreatic cancer, a billionaire. So what did he have for a quality of life? Say the last 3 years he was in and out of a hospital. And if he was a billionaire, why wouldn't he retire or do something different in his life? I know he didn't know he was getting cancer. And that's a far example of extremism, because most of us aren't billionaires. Take his example for a minute and put it into your shoes. Between 50 and 65, there's a lot of deaths. Look at this one, Karen, 65 years old. If she just retired at 65, maybe she didn't even make retirement at 65. What good is it? With all the money in the world, look at Steve Jobs. He had billions of dollars. Couldn't buy him health, right? Couldn't buy him health, couldn't buy his way back, no matter how much money he had. But for you and I, the average person, we don't have billions of dollars. Tomorrow's not promised, so you have to reconsider retiring early if you can. Now again, there's so many variables to that, right? If you want to go with a smaller pension and just stick around home in your home city. If you're okay with that, do it. If you have bigger expectations and need a bigger budget, well, sometimes you might have to stay working a little bit longer. But retire as soon as you can. I took my dad's wisdom, and he says, if you can retire early, retire early. Now, I turn 65 next month. I've had 10 years of retirement. Think about that for a second. I've had 10 years because I retired at 55. Now, if I go to 65 and I turn 66 next month, I would have had 1 year retirement. Or if I retired last year when I was 65, and I would have to go to 75 for 10 years of good retirement. Now, between 65 and 75, what's my health going to do? What's your health going to do? What's your health going to do at 55? I'm going to show a couple more of these memes and talk about them as we go. Terry, 69, he died. I've blacked out some of the personal information. I'm just taking this from obituaries, and this happened in 1 month. Next one, 69, Alan. 69, he didn't even make 70, so he had 4 years of retirement, assuming he retires at 65 or 67, or if he maximized out. If he would have retired at 55, he would have had 14 years of good retirement. Instead, he might have only had 4. Or in Australia, if he retires at 67, and I understand some people have to wait till they get the max so they can retire. Shame on you for not saving a little bit for yourself. But anyway, that's circumstances. That's your circumstances. Everybody has their own circumstances and their own reasons. But I'm saying, okay, let's say you're in Australia, you retire at 67. You can't collect your pension before 67. He would have had 2 years. 2 years of good retiring. Next one, passed away in Saskatoon, 68. Retirement max is 65 in Canada. 3 years. That's all he's had. You can't buy time back, people. And what this video is really about is retiring early if you can. If you possibly can. Because you don't know when your health is going to get to you. Next one, 56. If you were retired like I did at 55, you would have got 1 year of good retirement. 1 year. He didn't even make the pension plan in Canada. All his money's gone. 57, Laura Lee. 70. So this one would have had 5 years. Joanne would have had 5 years, 70 years old. It's not a lot of retirement time. And once you get up to 70, now your health really becomes a concern, right? Whether you're just gardening or traveling, or activity, or your quality of life. 69. 57, another one, didn't even make retirement. He's paid into pension, Canada pension, which you could collect at 60. Didn't even make it. 57 years old, Andrew, I'm sorry. Here's another one, 37 years old. I'm not sure why he died, it doesn't say, and I didn't go into the bit. I just wanted the age that he retired, that he died. Poor guy, might have been in a car accident, drug overdose, could have been a cancer, it could have been all kinds of things. You never know, people. Time is finite. Again, time is finite. 46, profound sound of passing of Wade. These are just a few that happened in the month of February. This month. These people are not going to see retirement. Their families are, some of them parents are still alive, are burying them. Now just think of all the things you could have done if you retire, the ones before retirement, I'm sorry, they couldn't have done much. But the ones that could have retired at 55, think of all the things that they could have maximized. First of all, do it when you're healthy. 55 to 70, that's your best years. With 70, you never know. After 66.1, according to average statistics, not so good. Dying before you can retire or in good health, any dreams that you might have had are gone. Any lists of things you wanted to do or obtain or learn, gone. My cousin has had 2 strokes and she's the same age as I am. Granted, she's in a much more stressful situation, but still 2 strokes. And I'll finalize here. I guess what I'm trying to say here is live life now while you can. That's the whole purpose of retiring early, is living life. Now, your version of life and my version of life are totally two different, and my next door neighbors and their next door neighbors, all different, but they're all living them right now because they retired. The earlier you retire, the better off and more retirement fulfillment you'll have. Now I know, I called my mother who's 80, just had her birthday, born in 1938, so she's what, 87? 86? Somewhere around there. I didn't do the math in my head, and I'm not bringing out a calculator. I phoned her the other day on her birthday in February, this month. This one's hard. The one thing I took away from that phone call was she was glad to hear me laugh. And I thought about that for a minute. Because we're apart. I'm in Arizona, she's in Canada. And I thought about that for a minute. It wasn't a big thing. It was family. She was glad to hear me laugh. Those are the things that you remember. Mom can't get around very well now. She's got a walker. Dad's 93, and he's driving her around, and he's still mobile, but it's slowed down a lot. But they live to hear from family. They did all their traveling when they were younger, in their retirement. But in the later ages, you don't have a lot other than family. Now, I always had the ability to make Mom laugh. And I guess that's one of my best attributes, because it was good to see her laugh. I'm going to call this one done.